What would you do if you were sitting at the very top of the rap game, Grammy winner, sold out stadiums, millions of dollars, and you knew that any day now the feds were coming to take it all away?
I made this before the Grammys. If I win the Grammy, I'ma take it to the trenches, to the family. Might sis Malene out of...
Would you run? Would you pray? Would you throw one last concert like it was your farewell show? Because that is exactly what Lil Durk did. And the crazy part? He literally dropped a song called Monitoring Me weeks before they grabbed him. This man knew. He knew. And he still couldn't stop what was coming.
Yeah, OTF Jam told us all about you.
This is the full story. Welcome back to the Dark Zone TV, where fame meets crime. Today we are breaking down one of the biggest federal cases in rap history. Not street rumors, not blog speculation. We are talking about actual federal indictments, murder-for-hire charges, confidential witnesses, wire-wearing informants, and a trail of evidence that leads right back to one man, Lil Durk. If you are new here, do yourself a favor, hit that subscribe button right now and turn on notifications because we cover stories like this every single week. Now let's get into it. Let's rewind to 2023. By this point, Durk was already one of the biggest rappers alive. Platinum records, features with every major artist you can think of, and a fan base that treated him like royalty. But here's the thing. Durk had been self-snitching in his music for years. And when I say self-snitching, I don't mean subtle bars that you need a detective to decode. I mean lines where he is practically telling you he paid for hits, bragging about having killers on payroll and mocking his dead ops. And the internet noticed. Our Reddit threads were popping up left and right, breaking down his lyrics. YouTube documentaries were connecting the dots between his songs and real unsolved cases. One creator dropped a 4-hour documentary about the attempts on Quando Rondo's life, and that thing hit over 4 million views before the feds even filed a single charge. But it wasn't just YouTubers talking. In early 2024, FBG Butter went on DJ Vlad's platform and said out loud what everyone was thinking. How is Durk still walking around free when everybody knows he paid to have Quando killed? Butter even hinted that one of the shooters straight up told police that Durk ordered the hit and paid for it, showed receipts and everything, and this was months before any arrest happened. The streets were talking, the internet was talking, and the feds, they were listening. Shaka Chapter 2, The Calm Before the Storm. Now here's where Durk's story takes a strange turn. Despite all this noise, 2024 actually started off great for him. He won a Grammy for All My Life, one of the biggest moments of his career, standing ovation, the whole 9 yards. But behind the scenes, Durk was falling apart. He quietly checked himself into rehab for codeine and Xanax addiction. In a June 2024 interview, he opened up about it, saying he was living too fast, that the drugs were controlling him, and that he wanted to be a better man, a better father. Said his main goal was peace, peace. Remember that word. He came out of rehab looking different, slimmer, sharper, dropped a song called Went Hollywood for a Year, wearing a Louis Vuitton suit. Seemed like a new chapter, but if you listened closely to the lyrics, there was still that same darkness underneath. He was rapping about giving $1 million to anyone who could prove he snitched, and in the very next breath, bragging about having killers around him sharing his money and his cars. Then came the 2 songs that should have told everybody what time it was. First, Turn Up a Notch, a teaser for his upcoming album, then Monitoring Me, and the title alone tells you everything. In that song, Durk raps that he can't send money to his shooters under his own name, says he doesn't know if the feds are setting him up or if people around him are talking. He references a hit where his shooters missed their target, but says they were close. He talks about paying people to slide, then tries to walk it back. Then he puts out a music video for it filmed at a gas station. A gas station. You cannot make this up. October 2024. Durk's 32nd birthday is approaching and he decides to do something big. He books his first annual birthday concert at the United Center in Chicago, home of the Bulls. 23,500 seats, sold out, and the show was incredible. Durk rolled from the dressing room to the stage behind a convoy of Hellcats and Trackhawks, performing from the back of a moving pickup truck. He brought out some huge names, Sexy Red, Lil Baby, Bossman DeLow. He even shared the stage with Chicago content creators like DJ U and FYBJ Maine, the guy known for pushing peace between rival gangs. And then Durk did something nobody expected. He put up a collage on the big screen, photos of fallen gang members from both sides of the war. Told the crowd he was showing love to everyone they lost in Chicago. Had everyone hold up their phone lights. It was emotional. It was powerful. But looking back now, a lot of people believe that show was his goodbye, his farewell tour disguised as a birthday party, because just days later, everything came crashing down, and those 20,000 fans watching him perform hit after hit, That may have been the last time they ever see Durk on a stage. Chapter 4. Running Out of Time. Now here's what makes this story even wilder. In September 2024, just weeks before his arrest, Durk announced that his entire felony record had been wiped clean. All cases gone. He talked about second chances, started traveling internationally, went to Dubai, had dinner with a member of the royal family, even got gifted an ornate cane. He made his first trip to London, freestyled in front of Big Ben, linked up with UK rap legends. Living like a free man. But a lot of people watching this weren't buying it. They thought Durk was cleaning house, getting his affairs in order, spending quality time because he knew the clock was ticking. In his last Instagram Live, he was seen praying, and around the same time, reports came out that Durk's children had been sent on a trip to Disneyland. Think about that. Why would you send your kids to Disneyland out of nowhere unless you were trying to give them one last beautiful memory before their father disappears? October 23, 2024, 5 members of Durk's Only the Family crew get arrested and indicted. The charges? Conspiracy to commit murder for hire resulting in death, use of a machine gun in a violent crime resulting in death. This wasn't some street beef, this was federal. And when those 5 guys got grabbed in Chicago, everybody knew Durk was next, and Durk knew it too. According to FBI agent Sarah Corker's affidavit, Durk started booking international flights immediately, one to Switzerland, one to Dubai, and a private jet to Italy. He was in Miami trying to bounce before they could touch him, but the feds were already 10 steps ahead. 2 days after his crew got picked up, before Durk could board that private flight to Italy, U.S. Marshals intercepted him in Broward County, Florida.
Keep your hands right there for me. Turn around. Hands behind your back. You are Mr. Chain Snatcher.
The music stopped. The party was over. Lil Durk, Grammy winner, chart-topping rapper, one of the biggest names in hip-hop, was now facing charges of conspiracy in a murder-for-hire plot that left an innocent man dead. And the indictment was ugly. Prosecutors didn't just say Durk was involved, and they painted OTF as a full-blown criminal enterprise, led and directed by Durk himself. Not just a music collective, an organization that used murder, assault, and intimidation to maintain power. The paperwork alleged in black and white that Durk placed a bounty on Quando Rondo's head, promised money and opportunities within OTF to whoever carried out the killing, and when his shooters flew to Los Angeles to do the job, they missed Quando and killed his cousin, Lil Pab, instead, an innocent man, dead at a gas station because somebody wanted a payday. But it gets worse. The indictment revealed text messages where Durk allegedly told his shooters not to book flights under any names connected to him, which means he knew exactly what he was doing. He was actively trying to cover his tracks. Our problem is, his credit card was used to book the flights and the hotel room the night before the murder. That's not circumstantial evidence, that's a smoking gun. Now here's where this case turns into a full-blown thriller, because the question everyone has been asking since day one is, who snitched? The indictment mentions unnamed co-conspirators and confidential witnesses, and 2 names have been at the center of the speculation ever since. The first name is OTF Jam, real name Casey Hester. This is a guy who did 12 years in prison for attempted murder, got out in February 2022, and Durk immediately took care of him, gave him over $50,000 cash, cars, everything he needed. Jam even confirmed this himself in interviews, saying Durk made sure he was straight. But then in May 2023, Jam got arrested on a gun charge, unlawful possession by a convicted felon, and this is where things get suspicious, because after that arrest, his case just vanished. No court dates, no records in Cook County Jail, no records in the federal system, nothing. It's like the case never existed. And in the federal system, that's a known tactic. When someone starts cooperating, the government can seal their case off the public docket to protect them. No traces, no paper trail, just a ghost. Then reports started circulating that Jam had been wearing a wire for 2 years, from 2022 to 2024. Footage surfaced online allegedly showing Jam looking nervous and uncomfortable around Durk, which people believed was him recording. And when Durk got arrested, a social media personality, Whack 100, went on Vlad TV and laid it all out, saying Jam caught a gun case, got flipped, and had been wired up ever since. Jam eventually broke his silence in December 2024, posting on social media denying everything and pointing fingers at other OTF members for being sloppy. But a lot of people still aren't buying it. And then there's Kayvon London Grant, better known as OTF Vonnie, King Von's cousin, Durk's business manager, a guy who had been in Durk's inner circle for years, seen with him at jewelry stores, handling large amounts of cash, negotiating deals on his behalf. Back in December 2022, just 3 months after the murder of Lil Pob, Vonnie got pulled over in Chicago in what looked like a routine traffic stop, but it was anything but routine. The officers were stalling, running his plates, and asking questions that didn't add up. His plates didn't match the car. The VIN didn't come back to anything. They made him drive to the police station for what they called tickets. People who watched that footage said it stank of a federal setup, local police pulling him over on a pretext so the feds could get him alone. And when you look at what happened next, it starts to make sense. Fast forward to 2025, OTF affiliates themselves, including members Nut Nut and Fat Fat, started publicly calling Vonnie a rat. Photos went up on social media with rat emojis over his face. When motions started being filed in September 2025, Vonnie and another co-defendant were noticeably missing from the joint filings. They hadn't been arraigned on the second superseding indictment. They were separated from the pack and in the streets. That only means one thing. Now let's talk about what the feds actually have, because this isn't just one snitch and a hunch. Court documents revealed that there are potentially 5 or more confidential witnesses in this case. Confidential witness 1 alone provided information on multiple bounties that Durk allegedly placed, not just on Quando Rondo, but on as many as 6 other individuals, 7 targets total. CW1 also gave detailed accounts of Durk's involvement in Lil Pob's murder, and their testimony lines up with hard evidence. Credit card records showing Durk's card paid for flights and hotel rooms for the hitmen. Bank records, flight records, text messages. It all connects. And then there's the self-inflicted damage. Remember that OTF mixtape cover art from 2019? Durk literally designed it to look like a criminal organization chart, putting himself at the top as the boss, labeling OTF as 100 made men, writing armed and dangerous, do not approach. He thought it was cool. He thought it was marketing. But somewhere in an FBI office, agents were building an actual suspect board that looked exactly like that cover art. He manifested it. He put it into the universe, and the universe gave it right back to him. So where does this leave us? As of right now, Durk is behind bars fighting what might be the most well-documented murder-for-hire case in rap history. His crew is fractured. At least 2 members are suspected of cooperating with the feds. The evidence trail includes credit card receipts, text messages, flight records, wire recordings, and multiple confidential witnesses. His co-defendant DD has already filed motions trying to distance himself from Durk, essentially saying, that was his plan, not mine. The loyalty that OTF was built on, it's crumbling, one by one. Look, nobody here is celebrating anybody's downfall. Durk made incredible music. He came from nothing and built an empire. But the facts are the facts. You cannot pay for murders, brag about it in your songs, book the flights on your own credit card, and then act surprised when the feds come knocking. The story of Lil Durk is the story of a man who had everything, the talent, the money, the fame, the family, and risked it all because he couldn't let go of the streets. And now those same streets are testifying against him in a federal courtroom. If this video opened your eyes, smash that subscribe button. Drop a comment telling us, do you think Durk beats this case or is it over? Turn on your notification bell because the Dark Zone TV is just getting started. We got a lot more stories coming. The Dark Zone TV, where fame meets crime.